Hello and welcome to Esther's Gardening Adventures. I'm Esther, and if you're wondering why I'm in a beekeeper suit, well, I'm about to explain that to you. So, behind me is my community garden plot, and last weekend while I was gardening, I found 3 paper wasp nests that are native wasps. And if you can guess, or you probably saw the title of the video, but I'm going to attempt to relocate and or just remove these nests. And these are native wasps, and I 100%, one of my goals is to encourage native beneficial insects. This is not what I had in mind though. And I certainly would not encourage anyone else to go to the lengths I'm going now. I'm just one of those people that will try it the hardest way possible first before doing the easiest and most detrimental one. The nests are only probably about the size of a silver dollar at the bottom, and they're fairly low to the ground. They're attached to old tomato plants from last year, and I'd been so bad about clearing the weeds from a couple of the beds that I think the wasps just thought that was a good, safe place to put their home, and it isn't, and it's not good because I need those beds. And right now it's only, from what I can tell, 2 to 3 wasps per nest, but you know, it can grow a lot bigger, I think into the hundreds per nest. So I want the wasps to be able to use my garden, to be able to get the pests, but I don't want them to make home here. I want them to I just want them to come visit for vacation or food. I want this to be a takeout location, not a staycation. I bought a full bee suit, which I'll show you in a second, covers me from head to toe. I bought gloves as well for beekeeping these are very thick leather, and this is sort of a mesh, but it'll go over top of this bee suit anyway. Now this outfit is not specifically geared for wasps, and if I was taking on some other kind of a really aggressive insect, I would not try this. I would go the nuclear option of spraying, but I really don't want to spray. So I don't want herbicides and pesticides in my garden, and these are native insects, and I want to give them an opportunity to make a nest somewhere else. I have glass jars that I'm going to attempt to get the nest and as many of the bees in each of them, and there's 3 nests. I use 3 jars, and it's not sunset yet. We have about 3 hours till sunset, but it is sort of late afternoon, evening. It's been a chilly, rainy day, so I'm hoping that means they're a little more calm, a little more around the nest. And then I'm going to take them probably over, if I can capture them successfully, I'm going to take them over. There's a big field over there that looks very much like the place that they set up home here in my garden. And while I'm not going to go as far as this one wasp relocator guy in Indiana, where he literally glues them to a branch so they hang proper and whatever, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to take the jars and take the lids off and let the bees the wasps kind of do what they want. I brought some extra jars. There's a high chance that I will severely regret doing this. And I'm about to go on vacation, and so I may be on vacation in extreme pain. But I really want to try this. I want to see if it's possible. And at a minimum, this beekeeper hat can be used for mosquitoes in the future. You can see there's a mesh up here, and I'm worried the wasps will go at that. And I heard people say to cover that area if you're doing with wasps. So I have my straw cap that fits perfectly on top, and it won't necessarily protect the head, but hopefully it'll at least keep them from being able to sting my head. And my microphone cut out temporarily here, so let me just say real quick that I actually researched this quite a bit before I decided to buy the bee suit. I emailed the entomologist at University of Maryland, who I had taken a class from during my master gardening program, to get her suggestions, and she said that I could use a high power hose. Well, at the community garden, I don't have a high pressured water hose to knock the nest off. She said I could use a stick to knock it off, and then maybe they would abandon it, but I didn't want to risk the possibility of them swarming or hanging out for a long time, really angry. I kind of needed to get to the garden relatively fast, and there is a wasp on top of it right now. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I've moved the debris around it and the wasp hasn't responded yet, so that's a good sign, I think. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Whew. Holy crap. I caught the wasp and I have the nest. Oh. Okay, one down. Well, I'm really glad that the microphone caught the first experience because that was the real inducing one. Here I am catching the second one with the same method. Had no problems here as well. Now this third one went off relatively similarly, except that there were 2 wasps on this nest, and one of the wasps started flying off just as I put the jar around it. And one of its legs got caught on the jar, the rest of its body was outside of the jar. So I ended up being able to capture the second wasp, which had kind of fallen on the ground, by just putting the jar over it in the ground. So here I have 2 jars with 2 wasps from the same nest. Here they are, in here. You can see them in the nest. They're pretty calm. I just relocated the other 2 and I'm going to do this one now, and I think I'm going to put my gloves back on, but neither of them tried to attack me, so I think I'll be fine. I'm still going to wear gloves, still going to have the hat on, I'm not going to be stupid, but yeah, I think we're going to be okay. Whew. Alright, so I've unscrewed the lid. I'm going to take it off. Okay. See how uneventful it was? He's just kind of skittering away. We can take a little look at the nest. And there's definitely some larvae in there. Alright, so as a quick update, this is about a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, that I filmed that first video, and I had to go on vacation right afterwards, as I said, and when I came back I hadn't cleared the brush yet, so I was a little worried that they had reestablished their nests. But I was able to clear out the first area where the first 2 beds were pretty easily. And then the third one, I started weeding around it, and all of a sudden a wasp was buzzing around me. Now, it didn't attack me, but it was definitely one of the paper wasps, and it was very much like, no bueno, you're not allowed. And if I came within maybe 10 feet of the area where the third nest had been, it just would buzz around me, and it was very unhappy. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over to this part of the garden. I have other places I can work. And I was a little bit nervous because this was the wasp that I had caught separate from its nest. It had been relocated, but it hadn't seen where the new nest was. And it was the only wasp, I didn't catch on camera, but it was the only wasp that when I opened the jar, it flew up and it flew straight back towards where the garden was. And so I think it was looking for its nest. But at that time I didn't know. So I took my bee suit back out with me again, and I took some sticks, you know, and I went around in the area. It was a couple days after I'd seen that wasp. And I went around and I didn't see her, and I was able to actually weed the entire bed, the third area where that nest had been, and I haven't seen that wasp since. I've seen plenty of wasps zooming around here and there, but they're not protecting a nest, and there's no nest that I found. And I've weeded the entire area now, so pretty confident that we're safe and good. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. You know, I'm glad I have the suit. I'm glad I tried it. Did I need to go to that option? Probably not necessarily, but you know, we all have our ways of doing things, and I most likely will probably need the nest again in the future. Not beekeeping. I don't plan on having bees, and I don't think the city allows you to anyway, where I'm at. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some entertainment out of this video, and yeah, I'll be back with my next video soon. Apologies for all the delays. There's been a lot going on in my life. I know I say that every time, but my parents have moved across the country. I had the vacation before that. It's just been a lot going on. So I'm hoping to get back to more routine posting now that the summer's going. I have so much to show you about what's going on in the garden. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy gardening.